Hi there. Today we're tackling a productivity killer that almost everybody grapples with, and that's unexpected interruption. So, in the next few minutes, we'll explore what they are, why they're so detrimental, and most importantly, what you can do to manage them effectively. If you've ever been deep in thought, only to be derailed by a sudden knock at the door, a ringing phone, or a notification, then this episode's for you. Let's do busy right. So, what exactly is unexpected interruption? In essence, it's any external call on your attention that you hadn't planned for or can't deal with at that particular moment. It could be a colleague stopping by your workplace, a non-urgent phone call, or even the constant barrage of notifications from your various devices. It's indeed one of the core enemies of productivity, and we define interruption as an external call on our attention. So, why are these things such a problem? Well, they introduce waste into our workflow. When we're pulled away from a task, there's a reloading cost associated with getting back into the right mindset and the right point and remembering where you left off. A listener, Chris, mentioned when he's interrupted while trying to solve a problem, the mental picture of the direction he was headed can simply disintegrate. It just goes away. Now, this task switching that we wind up doing, or this remembering and getting back to the previous task, is not seamless. It consumes time and mental energy, and this often leads to decreasing focus and sometimes even increasing error. So, how do we effectively manage this situation? There are a few strategies, and these draw on a couple of different discussions that we've had on the Do Busy Right podcast. And so I'll refer to those and I'll put the show notes, the links in the show notes below so that you can link out to that for more information and more tactics. So the first thing we want to do is build defenses against interruptions. So further, as Chris and I discussed, the systems we have in place can be pretty good at helping us deal with interruptions. So, an example is to set physical boundaries like closing the door to your office if you need focus time. And some people even use headphones, plugged in or not, to signal that they don't want to be interrupted. And further on this one, we need to set up good interruption catchers when we can. An example is set up your voicemail on your phone and use it effectively. Learn how to deal with it effectively. And that way you're more comfortable if the phone rings at an inappropriate time for you, you're more comfortable letting it go. Another idea is, and an extension of that, is to manage your communication channels. And we talked about this in episode 55. A lot of interruptions come from active information channels. Think about the ways people can reach you: email, chat, face to face visits, knock on your door, phone calls, and consider which of these channels truly need to be active and available to demand your immediate attention. Now, the others, you might be able to make them less active or put them in a passive mode for periods of time. So, turning off these non essential notifications on your devices can be very helpful in minimizing the number of interruptions that we have to deal with. Remember, just because technology allows constant connection doesn't mean it's always the right thing to do. Another good one is to establish some office hours in your workplace. If you get lots of interruptions during the day and are in the right position in the organization, it may be that you can help people learn how to use an office hour. Now, when I say office hour and you're thinking back to your college professors, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Have some set times when you're open for active face-to-face impromptu communication. And that way, people can learn and interrupt you at times when you're available for interruption. Now, there's some nuance to doing this, and we cover that in episode 55. Another tip is notice when you can't deal with an interruption and then don't. If you're in a situation where you can't effectively record information, for example, when you're driving, why would you pick up the phone? Why would you answer a call? Instead, as we said, have your voicemail set up and encourage your callers to leave a message. And that way you can deal with what's potentially a complex set of information when you're in a better situation to focus and capture that information. Finally, I'll say it's really important for us to address internal interruptions. Now, while our focus today is on interruptions, which is external claims on your attention, it's worth noting that our own thoughts can also derail us. And this is called distraction, an internal claim on your attention. So, a key strategy to combat distraction is getting all that stuff out of your head into a system that your brain trusts. So, managing unexpected interruptions is a continuing effort. But if you'll take a close look at these strategies and implement them, I think you'll find that you do better against these challenges that we all face. You can significantly reduce the impact on your productivity and your focus. Always remember, you have control, you have agency over your attention. By being proactive in setting boundaries and managing your communication channels, you can create more space for doing the important, deep work that you need to do. And ultimately, it's a big step in learning to do busy right. Now, go out there, manage those interruptions, and have a more effective week. I'll leave it there for now.